Welcome, my name's Melissa and this is Meliabella Knits, which is a vlog where I talk about my current knitting projects to kind of keep myself motivated and making progress in my knitting. So I attempted to record last week and learned a little bit more about the technology that came with my new camera, which my husband bought for me for Christmas. There's a microphone and you need to turn it on. Live and learn, right? So we have an entire episode with no sound, and my husband Sean is thinking about how funny it would be if he dubbed the entire video. So think about that video that you may have seen on social media where the dad is narrating or dubbing his daughter's beauty tutorial. That's his goal right there. I don't know if he'll ever do it, but I do think it would be funny, so we'll see what happens there. So I'm a little bit further in the projects than I was last week when I initially did do my last vlog, but that's okay. Some things are done now that weren't done before, and I'm excited to share those with you. I'm also super excited for two projects that I'm about to cast on, and some spinning that I'm doing. So why don't I show you what I've finished so far. Since the last time I chatted with you all, I have finished a couple pairs of clog socks. So this is a pattern that's available on Ravelry for $2. It's a short sock pattern with it's top down. It's got a tiny little cuff, and the reason I designed these is to wear with skinny jeans and my Dansko clogs because I really enjoy a hand knit sock. But normally the socks that I knit are 7 or 8 inches just in the cuff. And then I have size 11 feet US, which is about a 42 European. So really long socks. And those don't look great bunched up underneath skinny jeans. So I decided to go with just a short cuff. I've got a traditional heel flap. Gusset decreases onto the toe. So this is yarn that I picked up in Ohio a few years ago from Yarn Craven. Might be called Yarn Haven now. I can never remember which one it is that they switched it to. And this was dyed by one of the owners, and so I really loved the yarn, but I didn't love how it flashed in a tall sock, but in little footy socks, I really didn't mind. So they're definitely super cute. I've worn them a bunch. I'm actually going to wear them today. And I've also finished my Christmas socks. So these are another pair of clog socks that I cast on, and I actually wore these yesterday, so they're a little bit floppy since I wore them all day. But this is Nomadic Yarns in the Spark Sock base, which is 438 yards, 100 grams, and she called it Starlight. And it's obviously self-striping, and it was so fun to knit. Do you see the sparkles? Oh, I love her yarn, you guys. Love. So I've got the pair. They did match up perfectly. Super excited about that. All the way to the toes. Just a little bit of that olivey green on each toe. And I just love the yarn. It's a very high twist. And look at the sparkle. So pretty. So pretty. So because they're short socks, even though I have huge feet, like I said, it was 100 grams. I have 56 grams left. So that's a whole nother pair of socks if I'd like them, or mitts. So that's a really great way to get a couple projects out of, one skein of fingering weight. The other thing that I just want to talk about real quick, because I keep seeing it on social media and even in a couple of podcasts, there's a huge misunderstanding. Huge. And I feel like it needs to be addressed. So just bear with me. You don't have to do afterthought heels on self-striping yarn. Do you hear me? There's this huge misnomer. People think that they have to do an afterthought heel or a fish lips kiss heel or a short row heel in order to continue the color striping on self-striping socks. No, no you don't. You don't have to do that. In a sock that is top down with a heel flap, heel turn, and gusset decreases, you just have to think about where you're at. So on this sock, for example, I waited until the very last row of aqua before I started my heel flap with the olive. Now you'll notice these stripes are thinner. My heel flap stripes are thicker. That's because they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a flap, right? I then wait until I get to the end of that color for the length of the heel that I want. And right at that point is when I turn my heel. Do you see? My entire heel is that one color because that's the color repeat. So then I turn my heel. And once my heel turn is done, I then pick up my gusset. Do you see? You've got that tiny little bit of teal. Let me get nice and close. Do you see? Oh, come on, camera. Still learning the camera, guys. Focus. Focusing. There's a tiny little bit of, there you go. Tiny little bit of teal. That's where I picked up my stitches after my heel turn for my gusset. And then it used up all the rest of that yarn, right? Now, if it bothers you what color you're at that point, just break the yarn. This isn't a big deal. You just cut the yarn. Not a big deal. I cut my yarn all the time. You just cut it. And then pull to the color you want to be at for when you start going back across your stitches. Okay? So you can see we used the aqua to pick up the stitches. And then as I was coming across the top to knit across the top of my foot again, that's when it went back over to the olive. Right? Do you see it? And we've got olive again, and it goes into the silver. And then you just go into your decreases, and the stripes continue. Guys, you don't have to do a heel you don't like. That's the whole point of making things yourself, right? You can do what you want to do. And so what? You cut the yarn. You break the yarn. Who cares? Who cares if you break the yarn? You can break the yarn as much as you want to break the yarn. You just add in where you just cut the yarn, get to the color you want. If it's bothering you, I've never had to do that. Just continue to go. It's going to continue to stripe. It's going to continue to work out. Both socks. But if it does bother you, cut it, get to the next color you want, and then just start knitting with that yarn. Just as if you were knitting a sweater or a large shawl and you ran out of yarn, you got to add an extra skein. It's the same thing. Then you just weave in your ends. It's not any different. See? Regular heel flap with a gusset. I promise it works. Give it a try. Please, give it a try. Please. Self-striping yarn is so fun. So what if you've got to do a tiny little bit of color management? So what if you got to snip a skein and just go to the next color? You can use the ends. You can use the ends for other things. It's totally fine. Totally fine. Then when I get to the next sock, because I don't knit two at a time, that's actually how I learn socks, two at a time. And I don't prefer it because I feel like I've got to move the yarn around. I've got two balls to worry about. I've got needles. I've got to move this. I've got to move. I'm faster if I knit one at a time. So that's definitely what I prefer. Anyway, when I start that next sock, you just find the color you started with and cast on there. If you've got a little bit of yarn left, like I did, remember I ended on that green, and then the green, after the green comes silver, I just pulled it out of the skein, went over to my cranberry, and started the second sock. No worries. So you've got a little bit left over. Keep it with what's left, and you can use it if you run out. Or use it to tie off hand spun skeins later, or to put gift tags on knitted gifts to other people. Like, that's beautiful sparkly yarn. That's perfect for a gift tag, right? Everybody needs to stop panicking. Everybody needs to stop worrying. If you don't like Afterthought heels, if you don't like the Fish Lips Kiss heel, if you don't like to do things in a different, you don't have to. You can still do your heel flap and your gusset if you want to. Now, I have nothing against Afterthought heels. I've knit 50 of them. I have nothing against Fish Lips Kiss heel. I've done 6 of them. I just prefer a heel flap and a gusset. I prefer how it fits on my foot. I prefer how it wears in my shoes. So you can do what you like because you're making it. You can do it. All right, off my soapbox. Sorry if that got a little crazy, but it's been driving me nuts for 2 weeks. You don't have to do what you don't want to do. It's your knitting. There are no knitting police. They're not going to come track you down and say, hey, you have to do it this way. You do you. You do you. I digress. Socks, they're done. So because those socks are done, you know me. I've got to have a sock on the needles, right? So I'm actually using some of my leftover yarn from my fade. This is yarn that I purchased at Maryland Sheep and Wool last year. It's super speckly, aqua, purple, a little bit of green, some flashes of orange on a super sparkly base. And I'm knitting another pair of clog socks, but you'll notice on my clog socks I often do about a 1/2 inch of ribbing. I'm only doing a 1/4 inch on these so that they're even shorter. So I know today's February 20, nope, not February, January 24th, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm still in the middle of the winter. We are, but we are less than 40 days from spring, and so I want some extra shorty socks to wear my capri jeans with my clogs for like April, so I'm going to make some extra short socks. So I'm loving how this is working out. So I'm already right into the heel turn, and I'm in the middle of a row, so I do apologize. And I'm using my Chowgu red lace because these are my absolute favorite needles in the whole world. Any other needle just doesn't make me happy. So that's what I'm working on. I just cast this on yesterday when I had 5 minutes, but I'll blow through these really quick. And these are in one of my very favorite project bags right now. I know Christmas is over, but I mean, llamas in a sweater. Like, how could, in a scarf, look at this guy. He's so happy. Socks, hat, scarf, come on. Who doesn't want to be all comfy and happy? Look at this guy. He's in a sweater. So this is from Knit Two Together, Paper Diva on Instagram. Her name's Susan, and she's from the Michigan area, and she's super sweet. Her bags are super cute. Inside, they've got this little divider, so that you could have 2 balls of yarn at once going if you wanted to, or 2 separate projects. And then she's got a little notions bag that she sews right inside with a zipper. I know she also has these little yarn guides for yarn management. They snap, which are awesome. And I know she's working on buckets now. So excited. They're these huge bucket bags. They're going to be perfect for a sweater. And inside she has a little clip for your progress keepers. How exciting is that? So I'm definitely going to have to snag one of those. And she chooses the cutest fabric, so definitely check her out. What else is finished? I have a new design. So it's already out with Test Knitters. It's called the Gone Fishin' Hat. So this is just a fisherman's rib hat. It's out of super bulky yarn. This is Valley Superwash Bulky. This is Webb's house yarn, and you're not going to get the exact correct color on camera because no matter how much I white balance, it just doesn't work. And then I've got this super floppy palm that I got on Etsy. Isn't it super cute? The ends of the palm, which I'm not sure if you can see on camera, have little tiny bits of gray, so it's so cute. And inside I haven't secured it properly because I was unsure if I was going to keep this palm, but I'm pretty sure I'm liking it. So I'm going to just reinforce it and add a button so that it can come off more easily for washing. Since it's super wash, you just throw it quickly into the wash whenever you feel like it. So the reason I designed this hat was my friend Nini, who's one of the other moms on swim team where we live. Our daughters swim together. She kept wearing this super cute hat, and she got it at like Target or something. And I was like, Nini, can I look at your hat? And she's like, I just got it at Target. Like, it's not like fabulous. I'm like, no, it is fabulous. The way she was wearing it kind of slouched some days and then folded over when it was really cold to keep her ears warm, and it had that super cute pump. I had to look at it. So on further inspection, it was just fisherman's rib, and then I had to figure out the decreases at the top because decreasing in fisherman's rib is super fun. It actually really is. So I made it so it folds over just like hers. I'm gonna mess up my hair. Isn't that cute? With the palm. A little bit too floppy. I gotta reinforce that palm. But I love it. It's so warm. We've had, you know, a bit of a mild last couple of weeks, but around Christmas it was super cold. And so this was so warm to wear. I have 4 test knitters working on it now. 2 of them are almost done. So I'm anticipating this to go on Ravelry in the next 10 days, maybe. So just keep a lookout. Oh, ruined the hair. The other way that you can wear it, and I don't know if I can pull this off. I'm almost 40, so, but you could flop it down. Wear it a little floppy. If you like that look, floppy look. What do you think? It's not me, but you could if you like that kind of thing. So yeah, I loved it. It's super, super squishy. Oh, did not weave in that end. I'll have to do that. It's super squishy. Look at that. Super warm. Those are some of the decreases up top. And you could do a yarn palm if you wanted to. My friend Casey, who's one of my test knitters, I think she'll be doing a yarn palm. I'm not positive, but she did hers in 2 colors. So she has like a block of color here. It's hot pink, and then she switches into like a creamy gray for the top. Oh my gosh. She can be found on Instagram as Zephead, Z-E-P-H-E-A-D. You have to check hers out. I love her colors. So yeah. Fisherman, gone fishing hat. Be on the lookout. One other thing. I finished my September house sweater, and I blocked it, and I wore it the other day, and I love it. Here it is. What do you think? This is September House. It's designed by Kirsten Kapoor, who is Through the Loops Design on all social media. I used shepherd's wool from Stonehenge Fiber, which is also out of Michigan. And this is like a steel gray, a wheat, and just cream at the top. And these are not colors I normally choose for myself, and I love them. This color selection was very much inspired by the sweater that Kirsten Kapoor made for herself for Rhinebeck this year. She used much more of a rust mustard instead of this golden wheat color that I used. And I like hers, but I also really like mine. And it was super fun to knit. Waist shaping was a breeze. Some short rows at the back of the neck to give that extra bit up on the back of your neck so you're not cold. It was just an absolute dream. I did do an extra inch on the bottom hem and I believe on the sleeves. I was concerned that it might be too short for me. I have a really long torso. It fits perfectly. It's 3 inches over my jeans. It's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing, except that I need to knit like 4 more in different colors. So definitely check it out. September house sweater on Ravelry. It went live about a week ago. I definitely recommend this knit. I definitely recommend it. I just love it. And this yarn. Kirsten worked with Jill Draper on a couple of color selections for the sweater as she released it, and the colors she used were just amazing. So now I feel like I need enough Jill Draper to make one. We'll see. Oh, I love it. So that's my newest sweater, which means I need to cast on another sweater, which I haven't done yet. I wound the yarn and have my pattern ready. I'm going to be knitting Branches and Buds Pullover by Carrie Bostic Hodge. Looks like that. It's a DK weight that they suggest, but of course I'm going rogue. I'm using what is listed as a worsted weight. However, I've knit with it quite a few times. It can definitely be used as a DK. And this is Miss Babs, Yowza, what a skein. I have 3 skeins of this, and it never comes across on camera as accurate in the colors. This colorway is Topaz. It's very much an evergreen color, which I just absolutely adore. I don't have any sweaters in this color, so I'm super excited. And for the branches, I'm going to be using this skein of Primrose yarn. It's called Snow Owl, and I thought it was just like a creamy gray skein of yarn when I bought it. It's actually MCN, so Merino Cashmere Nylon. It's DK. I thought it was just like a beigey gray, and when I actually unwound the skein, on one little corner there were a bunch of flecks. So you can see it. So that's supposed to be like the spots on the Snowy Owl. Do you see one there? You can see them at random. And at first I got really anxious because I was like, no, no, no. No, no, I wanted cream. It's going to work out. Those are barely a stitch. So here and there I'll have just a little bit of speckles in my branches. So I'm actually not upset about it anymore. At first I was, and now I'm not at all. So they're wound. Printed out my pattern. Have my needles at the ready, my Chogu red lace. I don't know why I've not, no, I do know why I've not cast on. I'm exhausted. I work in higher ed and in admissions, and this is our insane time. We're reading regular decision applications, so if you have a senior in high school, I might be reading their application today at work. It's crazy. So by the time I get home, I'm exhausted. But I'm still trying to knit every day. I'm also spinning every day, so that's taking up time. And then I've been making my progress keepers. I have an Etsy shop called Progress Keepers by Meliabella, and they're just little lobster clawed progress keepers so that you can see where you are in your knitting from day to day, week to week, month to month, podcast to podcast. But I also have a bunch of snag-free stitch markers and jewelry that you can snap all of these onto. That's taken up some time. But it's super fun, and I'm having so much fun coming up with different ones and chatting with people and sending them all over the world. It's been amazing. The money from that's been helping with some costs that are connected to a new diagnosis for our son, which is another reason why I'm so tired. I'm dealing with processing that information. Our son was diagnosed finally on the spectrum. He has been diagnosed with Asperger's, and so we're learning about what that means for him and making accommodations and making things accessible and looking at his day not only at school but at home and socially and trying to make connections. And so that's exhausting. But I just want to tell you about a quick book. One of his teachers at school recommended this book and let him borrow it, and we've all read it, and it's amazing. So it's called Asperger's, Huh? So if you know of a young person, grade school age, tween, teen, this is definitely a great book, not only for the child to read, but their siblings and their family members, like grandparents. It talks a lot about, why you do what you do, and how you can be a little bit more flexible, and why things socially happen the way they do, and how you can kind of work on that. And it kind of talks about the process of being diagnosed and the steps there. It was super helpful. So if you are a teacher or have a family member who's been diagnosed, or you think they might be on the spectrum and have yet been diagnosed, I definitely recommend picking this up at the library or purchasing it. Don't know how much it was. I'm not seeing a price anywhere on the book, but it's a little bit cheeky, and we really enjoyed it. Another one that we really like is called All Cats Have Asperger's, and it's so accurate. And it's super cute with all these pictures of cats and kittens, and since we are cat people, it was really helpful for my son and my daughter, and they got a kick out of it. So I definitely recommend that one as well. It's upstairs. They keep reading it, so that's why I don't have that one to show. So I think that's why I've not cast on yet, but I need to. This is going to be my Rhinebeck sweater, and I want to knit it, and I want to wear it. It's a colorwork yoke top-down sweater. And while it's the end of January now, sweater weather is only like another 2 months, maybe 3 if you really squeak it out. So I need to start knitting this. Ah! So I'm keeping it in my new tote that my mom and dad bought me for Christmas. It's from Jenna Rose on Etsy, and she's out of Canada. And my parents bought this for me for Christmas. How cute is this? It's perfect for a sweater. So I've got the 2 skeins of yarn and the pattern in here ready to go, and I'm going to cast on today. This is me making commitments and holding myself accountable. There we go. I'm going to put my sock in here too, because this little tote will fit everything. It's great. Cannot say enough about totes. And especially as you fill it, it has a little bit more body in it once you get it filled with stuff. I've got some pins on there. I've got my Grocery Girls pin, my sheep in a sweater, and my Swish and Flick. Isn't that cute? I love enamel pins. They're so fun. The other thing I'm going to cast on, I'm so excited about. So I'm doing the spin at least 15 minutes a day challenge this year. I've been spinning way more than 15 minutes a day. So that's definitely why my sweater is also not cast on. But this is the fingering weight Polworth that I was spinning from Hobbledehoy, I think the last time I recorded. Came out great. It's a 2-ply fingering, and I got 456 yards out of 4 ounces. It's super squishy, and this is fiber. Where did I buy this? I think I bought it the first year we went to Maryland Sheep and Wool. Pretty sure. I'm going to knit the Close to You shawl. Isn't that cute? I love the little eyelets, the pointed edge. It's super fun. Check it out on Ravelry. There's a whole bunch of ones that are already done that are super cute. And it's very well written. It's all on one page. I love that in a pattern. And it looks to be super easy. I'm super excited about it. Super, super, super. So I'm going to wind the yarn so that I can cast on for that. It says you need 399 yards, so 400 yards. I definitely have more than that. So I think I'll be okay. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Other things that I've spun, I just plied these this week. This is the Into the World Falkland in the Serenity colorway. This is Club Fluff from 2012, vintage. It spun up amazing, and this is about to get a bath. So I'm excited to see how that plumps up. I got 228 yards. It's a 2-ply. I think this is going to be a worsted. It's poofy already, and it hasn't been washed, so we'll see. I'll let you know next time. And then this one I plied, not last night, but the night before, and you could have seen the video on my Instagram. This is Polworth top that I actually bought this past October 2017 from Hello Yarn. This was her anniversary colorway called Happy Happy Thank You. And I got 250 yards, and this is definitely a worsted. And I love this skein. The aqua, the plum, the rust, the light gold. Oh, I love this. I'm so excited. I feel like this needs to be a hat. What do you think? Because of the aqua with my eyes. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. So I'm excited to wash those. And then currently on the Hansen, I don't have anything on my sidekick right now. I started Scorch, which is really vintage. This is from 2011 when I was in the Hello Yarn Fiber Club, and it's Blue Face Leicester. And Adrian, who's the dyer for Hello Yarn, can't get this face anymore. It is so squishy, and you should see the staple length on this. It's amazing and so crimpy. Do you see that? Oh, I love it. So this also has some aqua in it, a little bit of dark copper rust, orange, gold, olive. This is like, if there were to be a color that represents Adrian of Hello Yarn, it would be this mustard and olive combination right here. That's what she's known for. And I'm spinning this up. It's spinning right now super fluffy and thick. So it's definitely going to be a 2-ply worsted. So excited. I would like to knit a hat out of this for Sean someday. We'll see how it comes out. One more spinning thing to show you. So you notice I've been showing you these tags. I bought these tags at Super Summer Knit Together 2016, I think is when I went, 2 years ago. I think that's right. From my friend Beck. She owns a design company called Gusler Designs, and these are Tyvek, like what you ship stuff in, those envelopes, which means they are water resistant. She puts water resistant string, and then she prints a design on them so that you can write all of your information on them. So you write all the information about your spinning, stick them on the skein, and then when you wash them, you've got that tied on, so it's helping with skein management. You don't have things all tangling together, but it's also not getting wet and ruined. And you'll know exactly what it is. So if you're washing a couple of skeins at the same time and they're all drying, you don't forget how many yards was on one or what color it was or the fiber content. You're organized from the start. I love them. And 2 packages lasted me 2 years. So I ran out 2 weeks ago and ordered 2 more packages. So I'm super excited. Thank you, Beck. Her shipping is super fast. She's located in Pennsylvania. She gets things right out, and she puts them in these super cute little wax bags, which remind me of sandwiches from school lunch when I was a kid. Aren't they cute? And she calls it the mother of all tags. So definitely check out her, what does she have? It's not an Etsy. I think it's like a big cartel. You can find her on Ravelry as Lemon Half. And she's a designer and does all sorts of super creative things. And she's also a professor, a college professor. I think I'm busy. I think she's much busier than I am. So definitely check her out. She's also done t-shirts and gift tags for knits. She's so creative. I think that might be everything. So, oh, no it's not. A bunch of stuff right in front of me. I have some yarn acquisitions. I do have some fiber on the way. I'll share that next time. For Christmas, my husband and I do stockings and then one gift typically. This year my gift was the camera. I bought him just a Kindle Paperwhite. He had had a Kindle Fire for a few years and it was super heavy and obsolete technology. So I just bought him a really simple and easy, speak of the devil, he's calling. I'll call him back. Just bought him, you know, super easy Kindle Paperwhite to do some reading. And he filled my stocking with some yarn, which was so sweet. So he went to Webb's, which is our local yarn shop. It's located in Western Massachusetts in Northampton. You can find them at yarn.com. He went to the warehouse, which is one of my favorite places. Steve, one of the owners, is known for buying closeout yarns from all over the world and sells them at a really good deal. So he found some Ella Rae Lace Merino DK, which is definitely more of a heavy fingering. So this is also not accurate for the color. The funny thing is that this looks a lot more like what my yarn for, on camera, what my yarn for my my sweater looks like. This is what it looks like in real life, what you're seeing. This yarn looks like this. That doesn't make any sense. This in real life is shamrock green. It's glowing, beautiful shamrock green. So this yarn reminds me very much of the medium weight Socks That Rock. So if you enjoy that, the twist of it, the ply, the thickness, the weight, definitely check it out. They had 14 different colors at Webb's when we went before Christmas, and he picked this up for my stocking. This is color 5, which like I said is a shamrock green. He also picked me up a skein of Mad Tosh Vintage. This is in the deep colorway, which is a very cobalt blue. It looks really accurate on screen. Look at that with my eyes. Holy Moses. Yep, this will have to be a hat or maybe a cowl. Oh, I need this for a sweater. Are you seeing this? I have this thing where I don't like to wear this color with jeans. Does anybody else have that weird thing? I think it's because I like to wear dark jeans. Ow. Do you see? They're too close in color. So I have to wear like khakis or something. Oh, I love this color. So I think this will become a hat. We'll have to wait and see. And I did the yarn club for Hue Loco for January. I'm not sure if I'm going to do February. The theme, I don't know that I'll like the skein, so I'll wait and maybe buy it after. But this is merino, and it is 80/20 superwash merino nylon in the lovey-dovey colorway. So it's this really speckly, pretty skein. Not seeing the speckles the way I want you to. Here you go. Isn't that pretty? With this rose, dusty rose colored skein. So I'm going to do toes and heels with heel flap, gusset, heel turn. It's doable, people. Try it. So those are my acquisitions. Oh, what am I wearing? So this is a shawl that I did the test knit for. This is by Karen from Round the Twist. I forget what she ended up calling it. I'll put it right there on the screen. And I did it out of some Yowza What a Skein. I don't remember the color name either. Put that right there. You're right there too. Sorry. But it's super cute. It has a ton of eyelets. Here, let me take it off so you can really see it. Choke myself. It's the back. So it's super long, but that's what I like about it, because you can wrap it around a bunch of times. Tons of eyelets and ridges. Really, really fun. And warm. I love this yarn. So yeah, that's what I got going on. So, goals for the next episode. I will have another pair of clog socks knit up. Both socks done. I will be to the arm separation at least on my branches and buds. And I will have at least cast on. Might be further than that. For my close to you out of my hand spun. I'm also going to have spun at least 8 more ounces by the time you see me. I think those are good goals. I think those are feasible. Yeah. Let me know what your goals are down at the bottom in the comment section. I love to see what other people are knitting, so tell me what yarn you're using, what patterns you're knitting, and tell me about what your weekly goals are. If we set goals and we keep track of our progress with progress keepers, we're going to be way more productive. And I know I'm going to have the goal of production over the next couple of weeks. So I will see you soon, and I hope that you have a nice cup of iced coffee if you're where it's hot, or a nice hot cup of coffee if you're where it's cold, that you have your feet up and that you are knitting, spinning, crocheting, and making in the ways that make you feel whole and happy in the world. I'll see you soon.